See what was wrong. As soon as the alarm goes off, Joaquin hops off the dresser, walks over to the end table, and paws the phone until the sound stops. Mystery solved.
Finally, talk about wise old owls. Maybe it wasn't small enough, or maybe there was a blinking light. Whatever it was, the hidden camera at the Hawk Conservance Trust in Andover, England was anything but. Two camera-shy owls, the focus of the camera, spotted it. They didn't exactly like it. After a few seconds of loud squawking, one of them hit the camera, knocked it out of position. Now the owls have their privacy back until perhaps more discreet camera is installed.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, 2 dogs shot and killed in Jefferson County, while law enforcement says they do not plan on pressing any charges.
Most women serving time in Wisconsin's female-only prisons struggle with mental illness. How programs in and out of jail are helping them.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says they don't plan to prefer charges after investigating why a man shot his neighbor's dog.
Wisconsin law actually says the man had the right to. Our Amanda Quintana is here with the details. Amanda.
Yes, well, according to the dog's owners, the two 8-month-old Shar-Peis, Stella and Gizmo, dug under the fence and got into the neighbor's yard. The neighbor shot and killed both of them. The sheriff's office has been investigating what led up to this last night in Watertown and says the dogs were attacking the neighbor's goats. So he had the right to protect his animals by shooting the dogs. The goats were injured, and the neighbor told deputies he tried to yell at the dogs to get them to leave before he shot them. Their owners say there were so many other ways that the neighbor could have handled this.
It amazes me that people have the heart to shoot a dog, a family pet. You know, they're clean, they're well fed, they weren't strays. And then to put them in next to a burn pile and not even attempt to find the people they belong to.
They say Stella and Gizmo, the puppies of their two other dogs, were not aggressive, and the two neighbors' dogs would often play with each other. They believe their neighbor just wanted to do harm to an animal. The sheriff's office says animal control is still investigating. We don't know yet if charges will be filed against the dog owners, but at this point that has not been decided yet.
All right, Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you. We're learning more about what happened in the fatal crash that killed Wisconsin men's basketball assistant coach Howard Moore's wife and daughter. Back in May, 23-year-old Samantha Winchester of Ann Arbor, Michigan, was heading west in the eastbound lanes when she hit Moore's vehicle head-on, killing his wife and daughter. According to the medical examiner, reports that were obtained by the Detroit News, Winchester had a blood alcohol content level of .207. That is more than 2 times the legal driving limit. Winchester died at the scene. Howard Moore and his son survived. Moore went into cardiac arrest in July and will now be moving to a long-term care and rehabilitation facility to continue with his recovery.
A 68-year-old woman from Bloomingdale, Illinois is dead after a crash with a semi in Rock County. It happened on Highway 81 in the town of Avon, according to the Rock County Sheriff's Office. A preliminary investigation shows the woman crossed the center line into oncoming traffic, hitting the back end of a semi. The woman's vehicle had heavy front end damage, and first responders had to work to get her out of the vehicle. She was pronounced dead at the hospital.
At least one person was seriously injured in a crash that involved a box truck on I-94. This was in Jefferson County this afternoon. According to the State Patrol, the crash happened about 11:30 this morning near Lake Mills. It took about 2 hours to clear that scene.
Let's get a check on the weekend forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, it's been a pretty quiet day across southern Wisconsin. We've had lots of sunshine and another pleasant day temperature-wise. But as we take a look at satellite and radar, there are some clouds out to the west, or visible cloud track. You see some clouds across the Dakotas into western Minnesota. Those will arrive here later on tonight. Some strong to severe thunderstorms have been occurring over the portions of central South Dakota. But right now, it looks like those storms will weaken before they reach us. Might get to us by later tomorrow afternoon. Current temperatures about as nice as can be. 76 right now in Madison, Milwaukee 79, La Crosse, the warm spot at 82. But those dew point temperatures are remaining in the mid-50s, so it feels very comfortable. By tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the upper 50s as skies turn cloudy. Tomorrow, there's a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm west of Madison in the afternoon with a high of 79. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, thank you, Gary. A Richland Center man is hospitalized after a tractor accident. The Richland County Sheriff's Department says it happened on State Highway 80 near Joe Miller Lane Wednesday afternoon. Deputies say 81-year-old Norman Putz was mowing around a culvert in a tractor when the tractor overturned and pinned him underneath. Putz was extricated and taken to an area hospital. There is no word on his condition.
3 teens were pistol whipped and robbed trying to sell sneakers. Another teen said he was interested in those sneakers, so he agreed to meet in the 3100 block of Churchill Drive in Madison. That's where 2 other teens, one presumed to be the purchaser, got into the victim's car. Both of the teens showed handguns and demanded the victims turn over everything they had. The gunman then hit the victims in the head with their weapons before leaving with 2 backpacks, one containing those shoes. The teen victims were not seriously hurt, but one teen did faint while talking to an officer. He was taken to a hospital as a precaution.
One of the major factors in people cycling through the judicial system is mental health.
And Danica Lewis shares how programs in and out of Wisconsin's prison are saving lives. It's a story you'll only see on News 3 Now. Danica?
Well, Eric and Susan, the state runs only one female-only prison up in Fond du Lac. And at best, 4 out of every 5 women who serve time there struggle with a mental illness. That means the vast majority of those inmates need help during and after their sentencing.
I wouldn't even consider it a life. I didn't have one. I was consumed with drugs and alcohol.
This is really the first time Lisa Stevenson has experienced freedom. The freedom of living alone in her own apartment, the freedom of sobriety.
It's not hard not to do them. It's hard to believe I can make it without them.
The freedom of freedom.
August 22nd will be the first time I've been off paper or parole for 22 years.
Stevenson spent those decades between cells and the streets, also struggling with schizophrenia. And while she was addicted to drugs, she didn't always take her medication. But things were different after she left Cheetah Correctional.
This is the first place I've gotten any support.
You're leaving one world and stepping back into a world that you may not have been for several years.
That's where OARS comes in. OARS stands for Opening Avenues to Re-Entry Success. It's a collaboration between the state departments of corrections and health services. It identifies those with the most serious mental health concerns and makes sure they have what they need to go back to the real world and stay out of prison. Re-Entry Disabilities Treatment Director Lars Brown.
97% of our population is at some point going to return to the community. And we can either provide them therapeutic interventions that will help them to be successful or not.
So far, Brown says recidivism rates are promising, but as many as half of the convicts enrolled in OARS are women, even though male inmates far outnumber females here in the state. At least 80% of the inmates at Cheetah need some sort of mental health services.
For the ladies, it's very much so about the relationship. It's not always what we're trying to teach, but how we teach it.
Jennifer Millard-Schmitz runs all the programs at Wisconsin's only women's prison. And over the past few years, her team has focused on that kind of gender-specific treatment. It includes a specialized unit where up to 55 women live and receive intensive care.
Whether it's confirmed or not confirmed trauma that these ladies have had in their lives is significant, and it plays a significant role on their ability to function.
Tapping into that trauma, Millard-Schmitz says, is different for women, which is why small group discussions, art, writing, fitness, they're all used to get through to these inmates.
It's all about the treatment. It's all about healing. And we need to come in here and we actually need to treat them like a human, help them to be listened to, help them to, progress so that they can make better decisions when they leave here.
Those are the folks who are going to be your neighbors. They're going to be in your communities. I feel like as many interventions as we can provide, the more chance there is for them to be successful.
Which brings us back to Lisa. And Lisa.
But that's what Lisa does. She just gets right back up.
Lisa Hanneman volunteers with an organization called Circles of Support, which helps people face the challenges of leaving prison. That group, along with Orr's, helped Stevenson secure her apartment and 2 part-time jobs.
Just because they've had a record in the past doesn't mean that they're the same person. People do want to change.
Proving when you have the freedom to choose.
Just continue striving or striving.
You choose to be free.
No way I've come too far to give up, and so do whatever it takes to not let that happen. I made it.
So Stevenson has a lot to look forward to and is excited to visit 2 new grandkids on the way. Under the new budget, Orr's will be available to about 2/3 of Wisconsin counties. That is up from just 41 counties across the state, but Brown would like to see that program be funded statewide.
Danica, thank you.
Sure.
The Grant County Sheriff's Office is investigating multiple reports of burglaries in Cuba City and Hazel Green. Deputies say several ag service and implement businesses were broken into Thursday morning. Law enforcement says there was an undisclosed amount of money stolen at each location. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Grant County Sheriff's Office.
The Wisconsin Department of Health Services says doctors in Wisconsin have now confirmed new cases of lung disease tied to vaping. Doctors have confirmed a total of 12 cases and are investigating 13 other cases. The new cases include those who vaped marijuana oils, extracts, or concentrates. Patients with confirmed cases range in age from teens to 30 years old and are from Dodge, Dorr, Kenosha, Racine, Walworth, Waukesha, and Winnebago counties. Officials say the severity of the disease has varied among patients, with some needing assistance to breathe.
If you missed last month's Summer Restaurant Week, you can still take advantage of some great deals on delicious meals starting tonight. The 4th annual Black Restaurant Week. It doesn't kick off until Sunday, but a special first-of-its-kind tasting jamboree is happening right now at the Badger Rock Neighborhood Center. It'll go from 5 until 9 o'clock. This year's week has extra meaning for black business owners after 2 black-owned businesses closed on Willie Street alone in the spring. In total, 7 restaurants, 9 food carts, and 3 dessert shops are participating, and chefs like this pair from The Anointed One are ready for some big crowds.
Very busy. We have a lot of people doing Black Restaurant Week. They flood the restaurant. We have people that actually sneaks in the restaurant when other people go out once we close the doors.
And if you can't make it out to tonight's Tasting Jamboree, you can take advantage of Black Restaurant Week deals starting this Sunday. It'll run through the following Sunday.
Henry Vila Zoo and the Chocolate Shop are teaming up for this year's Create a Flavor Ice Cream Contest. You can submit your ideas on the Chocolate Shop website or at Madison area shops through August 31st. Winners of the contest will win a year's supply of ice cream, plus a behind-the-scenes tour of the Henry Vila Zoo.
Sartori Cheese is the Wisconsin State Fair's 2019 Grand Master Cheesemaker, the 4th-generation family-owned company based in Plymouth, Wisconsin. The Rosemary and Olive Oil Asiago earned the award by being the top-rated cheese out of all competition categories. That was out of nearly 500 entries, by the way. This is the 7th Grand Master Cheesemaker title earned by Team Sartori since 2006. There is more to come on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, we are learning more about what the El Paso shooter said after he was arrested.
And coming up tonight at 6, Madison's police union is responding to the mayor's criticism of the way officers handled an incident involving a black teenager experiencing a mental health crisis.
Quick check of Wall Street to close the week. The markets with a bit of a dip to close the week. The Dow off 91, the Nasdaq lost 80, the S&P 500 gave back 19, and we will be right back. Authorities say the 21-year-old man accused of carrying out the deadly mass shooting at the El Paso Walmart confessed after surrendering and said he had been targeting Mexicans. El Paso detectives said in an arrest warrant affidavit that the shooter emerged with his hands up from a vehicle. This was stopped at an intersection shortly after last Saturday's attack, and he told officers, quote, "I'm the shooter." The affidavit says he later waived his Miranda rights and agreed to speak with detectives, telling them he was targeting Mexicans during the attack. 22 people were killed in the attack and about 24 others were wounded. 8 of the victims were Mexican nationals.
Meanwhile, President Trump says he'll continue to work to get new gun control measures passed. The president says Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is fully on board with the need for new gun control measures. In a radio interview Thursday, McConnell says he has begun bipartisan talks to figure out which laws can actually pass a divided Congress.
Background checks and red flags would probably lead the discussion, but a lot of other things will come up as well. But what we can't do is fail to pass something.
McConnell says nothing will be done until after the Senate's August recess, despite calls from Democrats to reconvene Congress now. In a statement, the head of the NRA said the NRA opposes any legislation that unfairly infringes upon the rights of law-abiding citizens and called gun control proposals currently being floated soundbite solutions.
Walmart is removing violent video game displays after 2 recent shootings in its stores. Store officials say the move is meant to show respect for the incidents. It does not change what games are available for sale, however. Walmart stores will also stop showing violent movies on TV screens in the electronics department and hunting videos in the sporting goods section. The moves come after Walmart CEO promised a, quote, thoughtful and deliberate response to the shootings earlier this week. Some hoped that would bring change to the store's policy about selling firearms. Walmart is one of the world's largest sellers of guns and ammunition. Its policies on those sales remain unchanged. Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with your forecast. Gary?
Eric, it was another great day across southern Wisconsin. Skies have been mostly sunny, and we'll see mostly clear skies this evening, but the blow-off tops of some thunderstorms across the Dakotas and western Minnesota will eventually move eastward and cause our skies to cloud up later on tonight. But the rain chances probably won't arrive until later tomorrow afternoon for areas west of Madison. There might be a better chance for a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow night as this area of showers and storms in the Dakotas moves eastward, but those showers and storms should also weaken, not looking at any severe weather around here. Live here from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, another day with mostly clear skies. The WISC Skycam shows just a few cirrus clouds and on the western horizon. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, you can see the sunlight reflecting off of the waters of Lake Mendota. Pretty day to be out on the lake. High today 77, low temperature 54. So actually a day with below normal temperatures for the first third of the month. Right now we're at 76 degrees with partly sunny skies, winds out of the north-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Dew point temperature remains low, so the air is still pretty dry. And with that dry air, temperatures got cooler last night. In the northern part of the state, it was down to 47 in Superior, 50 in Eau Claire and Wisconsin Rapids. Here in Madison, we dropped to 54 degrees. So a little taste of air conditioning provided by Mother Nature to get rid of some of the warmer temperatures at night. Current dew point temperatures are in the mid-50s. So again, I'm expecting temperatures to drop into the 50s. But notice the dew points do increase a little bit out to the west, and as the air starts to become a little more humid, that might keep temperatures up into the upper 50s overnight. Current temperatures are generally in the mid-70s to the low 80s. Notice it is a little cooler where there's more cloud cover out to the west, and those showers and thunderstorms are developing in the Dakotas. The jet stream is pushed northward a little bit, but it will sag back southward over the next couple of days, bringing a chance of a shower or thunderstorm late tomorrow afternoon, better chance tomorrow night. The best chances of rain, I think, will be on Monday. High pressure is located out to our west, so these showers and storms will have a tough time moving eastward, at least initially. To the west, temperatures are turning warmer, mid to upper 80s to around 90 through eastern portions of Colorado. And dew point temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s there. But with the upper level winds from a westerly direction, the bulk of the heat and humidity should stay to our south. And as you look at future track, notice the sky is starting to cloud up for tonight. Tomorrow, there'll be a chance for a shower or thunderstorm west of Madison in the afternoon. A little better chance tomorrow night as that weather disturbance moves through, and then Sunday will start to clear out a little bit. The next weather system farther out to the west, that's this area here, will reach us on Monday with probably the best chances for showers and thunderstorms at that time. But temperatures should stay within a degree or two of 80 degrees, which is our average high temperature for this time of year. For tonight, look for mostly clear skies this evening to turn mostly cloudy overnight, low temperature dropping to 59. Tomorrow will be a variably cloudy day. There's a chance of a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, mainly west of Madison with a high of 79, and that's not even really a high chance. You can see on future track the clear skies giving way to some clouds overnight, low temperatures in the upper 50s. Highs tomorrow, upper 70s. Notice the chances for rain pretty small out to the west of us, but they'll arrive tomorrow night into early on Sunday morning. Low temperatures will stay in the lower 60s as a result, and then the rain chances should move out pretty quickly on Sunday morning. Look for high temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Rainfall amounts generally be less than a quarter of an inch. There could be a couple of spots to pick up over a half inch and a heavier shower or thunderstorm, but that'll be the exception rather than the rule. But the 7 to 10 day forecast calls for a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms Monday. Then temperatures generally around 80 for the middle part of next week. Warmer toward the end of next week with some thunderstorm chances by the middle or latter part of next weekend. As we take a look at first alert traffic right now, it's a Friday, but this is the view on the Beltline at Park Street. Actually, it looks like the traffic is moving slower in the westbound direction, at least at Park Street, rather than in the eastbound direction. Looks like there might have been an accident that just happened there, so we're seeing some delays westbound on the Beltline from Fish Hatchery Road to Park Street. Eastbound, we're seeing delays from around Monona Drive back to around Todd Drive. So right now it's a 24-minute commute on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, still 17 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading down to Janesville, about a half hour from the Beltline down to Janesville on I-3990. It's 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 and 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151 and East Washington Avenue. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Thank you, Gary.
So ahead on News 3 Now at 5, how a new treatment could help people suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder. We'll explain after a short break. There could be new hope for people with obsessive-compulsive disorder.
An estimated 2% of the population, or 1 in 50 people, has OCD. Treatments currently available don't work well for many of them, and they often have side effects. As Stephanie Stahl reports, a new experimental drug could change that.
Every time he passes a door, Ted Nichols has to check that it's locked.
It's an irrational thought. I know that I've locked the door. I know it's locked, but I just continue to check it anyway.
Same thing with washing his hands.
For no reason, I feel dirty. I have to wash really thoroughly, not just like a one and done. I have to do it probably 3 times. It seems ridiculous, but I can't stop.
Ted has obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. He gets fixated on something like locking the door, then compulsively checks it.
My wife says, well, you know what you're doing, just stop. I would if I could, I really would, but I can't.
Traditional medications for OCD target brain chemicals, serotonin and dopamine, but they're only marginally helpful.
So a good percentage of the patients do not get relief with the current medication.
Psychiatrist Dr. Shukmar Hati is a principal investigator for an experimental OCD medication made by Biohaven Pharmaceuticals. It targets a different brain chemical called glutamate.
The drug works on the symptoms of anxiety, and if the anxiety comes down, the compulsion to perform an activity will also come down.
Limited early results have been positive.
It would dramatically change my life.
Ted is thinking about enrolling in the trial to test the new drug, hoping for a more effective treatment for the disorder that interferes with his life every day. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
And stick around. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
On tonight's CBS Evening News, new details about the accused gunman's surrender in the El Paso shootings. Police say he admitted to targeting Mexicans. President Trump is named in newly released documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case. And Steve Hartman's on the road with a car mechanic who now specializes in life-saving repairs. Those stories and much more on tonight's CBS Evening News.
And the weekend off to a nice start.
Yeah, the weather's been nice the last couple of days. We do have some rain chances in there, but they're going to be pretty small. Let's take a look at Doppler tracking and see some rain moving to western Minnesota. These showers could reach us by late tomorrow afternoon. The best chances of rain this weekend, I think, will be tomorrow night. So during the day tomorrow and during the day on Sunday should be dry. Mid-70s right now, mid to upper 70s over southern Wisconsin. Dew point temperature still in the mid-50s, so it's not very humid. High temperatures around 80 for the weekend, and then we'll look for a pretty good chance of showers and thunderstorms Monday, and then temperatures a little warmer toward the end of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.